Hi, crafters, and welcome to Finish It Friday, episode 177. So here's where we left off. Let me just move. I had something at my feet. Let me move that out of the way. This is where we left off on Wednesday. We have our base card. This one is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have our two strips that are 1 1/2 by 2. We have our 1.5 by 1.5 square, and then this was 1.5 by 3 1/4. But remember, I decided to cut it in half for today's card. All right, so I am going to be using the new Cutest Crew. This is going to be available next week on the online exclusives. So, and just a hint, if I'm showing it today, I'm probably going to show it tomorrow on my introducing and examples with series. So it is 11 stamps. It is 16 dies. And there's what you have. And of course, when I stamped my little index card, I had one upside down, a couple of things upside down. So we'll just ignore that. All right. To welcome spring, we're going to focus on the birds. Of course, we also have a bird buddy. So that is a very big deal in our household with what birds did we get at our bird buddy. So we'll look at that coverage every night. So I'm going to start off with doing a light background with the bird feet. There we go. All right, so let me go ahead and let me just bring out this. And I want to do it just a little bit lighter than what we have on there. So I think I'm going to do gray granite. Now, Stampin' Up! Announced to the demonstrators that they are changing the stamp pads again. Now, on the video, I don't remember if they said anything about spots, but they're changing the stamp pads again. So, should be interesting. They are going to a magnetic, and they're going back to felt, which these spots have always been felt. Your Stampin' Up! Full-size pads are more of a harder foam, so they're going back to felt, and they're magnetized. So they will start rolling those out with the new in colors that come out in May with the new annual catalog. So if you get the new, and I don't like how that one I didn't do very good, I'm just gonna leave it. So if you get the new in colors, you will get the new style pads. I'm not getting that one very good. I'm not moving on my spot. All right. Anyway, it's just a background, not a big deal. So what I am going to do on my two, first I'm going to edge them so they'll stand out. Even though they stand out against this, I'm still going to edge them. Now we are going to cut some of that off, so you're probably only going to see the edge on the top and the bottom, but it will help to set that apart from your background card. I just put my finger in it. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and do this one. I'm assuming the spots will stay the same, because that's one thing I don't think that's changed when we went from the old style stamp pads to the new style, and now going to this magnetic. I still think the spots will stay the same, but we'll see. I won't know until I get my new catalog. I'm not going to the annual convention, so we'll find out once I get my new catalog. So I'm going to use, I think, half the Best Day So Glad We're Friends on these strips, and then I'm going to do the Happy Birthday in the middle. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and lay these down first. And I like doing them on a piece of copy paper, Post-it note, whatever, so they don't stick onto your glass mat. So let's go ahead and take our memento. And someone asked me, and it's true, I have this as a pad holder, and I know when I have been inking up my pads, it's been hitting this glass, and people have said that's not the most pleasant sound. So I'm going to try to remember to put my pad on the glass mat buddy. So let me put it over here. And I'm going to do this in the center, only because we're going to angle that, and I want to make sure my words are all there. All right, so there's those two. Let's lay these down first before we do anything else. Let me grab out I could use my Stampin' Seal, but I don't like having it all the way to the edge, not knowing how far I'm going to go. So then I have to cut it apart with my scissors, and then I just feel like I've gunked up my scissors for no reason. So I did that pretty close, but I think that'll be okay. I'm going to take out, I'm not using the snips, I'm using my old red rubber scissors. These are what we used to use to trim our red rubber stamps, our clear mount, but you know, those are going away. So I'm going to find another use for them. All right, so there we have that. I am going to come through with this and just hit that edge just a little bit. And I'm not sure how much I will get. I'm leaning it more towards me so it hits that edge without really hitting that base card. So there's that. Let's go ahead and just put that glue in the middle here. Now, if I wanted to, I could try to line it up so it's even. So I'm kind of putting that along that line. And I can put this along the same line. So they're kind of angled the same way. You could just eyeball it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's cut up. Oops, I didn't hang onto that very tight, so I had a little bit of a lip there. And if you're super particular about that, you could always put it back into your paper trimmer and trim off the whole card base. All right, so let's get a little bit of that line there. All right. Oh, and I should have had, I don't like how that looks, but we're going to leave it that way. I should have moved it down a little bit more so that edge would have hit here, so it would look just like a stripe. But I guess I did it on both sides, so it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? I should have matched up that corner, this corner here to the edge, and this corner here to the edge. But then I think if I had done that, then I would have to stamp on the 2 layers, and I'd rather have a good stamping image than have the corners be a little bit off. And I am going to just sneak this under here just to get that to lay down, because that also would bother me. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take our birds. Grab a little bit of a bigger block. Have a lot of stuff out and about now. Using that block, put that away. I'll put that back over here. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and take your blends and color in. I was looking to see if I had my Wink of Stella really close and handy. I don't know if I have. Let me look over here really quick. Yeah, I don't see it. It's hidden somewhere. I'll come across it. So I'm just going to leave them the way it is. Do I want to pop them up? I don't think I want to pop them up, because then I feel if I pop them up, it's going to take away from the corners there. So let's just go ahead and let's just use our seal. Go like this to make sure there's no adhesive coming over the sides. And I'm going to go and do that really thin margin on both sides. Let's do that again. Push that under just to make sure there's no adhesive on the top. I'm looking, I haven't laid it down yet. Have that very thin edge on both sides. Press it down. So now we have this left. Now I can go just like that, but I don't like the way it kind of intersects, so I'm going to do it as a diamond. I'm going to do the tiny little happy birthday, which is right here. Now I feel like I'll probably go down here a little bit, just so I can put a gem, some gems up there. So let me get this to 2 points so it's kind of straight. The points there. And let me put it down near that bottom part. Let's get antique pearls. Now I really want to bring out that color, so I'm going to go grab my Coastal Cabana blends. So hang on one second while I go over by my desk. Let's see. That's not Coastal Cabana. Do I not have Coastal Cabana? Alright, since I don't see Coastal Cabana, I'm going to use Pool Party. Alright. I'm going to do these three here. Lately, when I've been coloring my blends, I've been using the bullet point. That way I leave, because coloring on embellishments is hard on your brush tip, and when I splatter, it's also hard on your brush tip. So I've started to only color with my bullet end, and it seems to be working fine. Even on big areas, it doesn't bother me that much. All right, let me do a second layer. That one shot away. Did you see that? All right. Hopefully that means there's still adhesive on it, but we'll find out, I guess. And since I've stamped at the very bottom, I'm going to put these. I usually don't do so. Oh, doesn't feel like it has the adhesive on it. Oh, it does. Oh, I'll just leave it there. It's a little off. I'm not going to worry about it. So let's go ahead. This one I am going to pop up. I still haven't prepared my full sheets of dimensionals with my packing tape so that it actually will hang on to the backings. So I really feel like I'm thinking that I just want to, and I should have done it before I put it on. I just feel like, let me take off some of that. I just feel like I need to have a little bit of a just feel like it was kind of really stark. So I just put, yeah, and if you watched my technique of the week on Sunday, what I did was 3rd generation stamping. So I stamped off twice and then went to my cardstock, and the stamping is 3rd generation. If you didn't see that video, it is on my channel. You can go back and watch it. It was from last Saturday. It was the technique of the week, and it was called 1st, 2nd, and 3rd generation. All right, so there is our card for today using these elements. Let me show you what else I did. So here we left all of the rectangles and the square in their true form. I used, let me grab it out, I used my washi tape from the Greenery Lane to run right down the middle of the cardstock, so you can see that washi tape is placed right onto the card base. And then I just used some cutouts from Greenery Lane. This one I used, Journey, Thoughtful Journey. It's the Journey DSP that's been out forever. But I cut them out in the different shapes. I ran this through the Daisy 3D embossing folder to give a little bit of a background look. So there we have that one. Kind of a beigey look today with the cards. But there you have it. Thanks for watching, guys. Give me that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you think you have friends out there who would love to find different ways to take basic layouts and make a variety of cards with them, tell them about my channel. I also have, like I said, every once in a while I do the introducing and examples with to introduce new stamp bundles. And I also have the technique of the week. So lots of videos out there on my channel for you guys to watch. But thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great Friday. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.